Wario Land 4, a creepypasta by Errol. When I was younger, I loved the Game Boy Advance. The games that came with it were absolutely fantastic. I loved clocking hours on each one. I was never very good at most because I was young, but I loved it at the time. Next to Pokemon, my two favorite games were Yoshi's Island and Wario Land 4. Yoshi's Island was fine at. The levels were fairly easy to complete, and I took my time on each one, getting 100% on the several worlds. Wario Land 4 was different. I wasn't very good at all. There were many different button combinations you had to master to excel at the game. The temporary level techniques, like domino rows, beat the dominoes in a race, were confusing and difficult. The bosses, well, they were just nightmare fuel. They were creepy. Still, I find them creepy today. It wasn't until I discovered my old Yoshi's Island and claimed it 100% on old world twice that I realized one thing was missing. Wario Land. I figured because I was older now and much better at gaming, I could beat Wario Land 4 once and for all. I did as a kid, but I had to have lots of help from my brother. I rummaged through all my old boxes, which has old games in it, but I couldn't find the Wario Land 4 cartridge anywhere. I asked my brother where it was, and he said he cleared it out a while ago to get some money for a new game that he wanted. I was pretty sad at the time. I always knew that the ROM and emulator was an option, but I wanted to relive the moments as I did as a kid. And besides, if I did use an emulator, I'd be compelled to either use GameShark or save states. No, I had to have the cartridge. I told a close friend of mine, an old school Nintendo enthusiast, about my predicament. He listened, and he said that he had the cartridge. I asked him if I could borrow it, but he just offered it to me free. Needless to say, I was grateful, but I wonder why he would just give it to me. I asked him. He said I didn't like it. It was too creepy. Well, I had to agree. It was a creepy game for when I was young. When I got home from school, I got my GBA out and popped in Wario Land 4. It started up after Nintendo Indent, and it began with the familiar introduction of Wario almost running over a cat. But I already knew what it was, and I was impatient to get into the game. In the select save menu, I was really weirded out. The first save hadn't been played yet, so it just said new game, but the second save, the bottom one, had all the bosses defeated and had corrupted as its title. That was weird, for several reasons. First, you think that the game would just delete the save or something, because it wasn't playable anymore. If it was corrupted, it would probably have different color text like red or something so it could stand out slightly. Lastly, why would they put a period on the end of the world corrupted? It probably means something like this save is corrupted, but it had to compensate states for size. I knew I was overthinking it, so I just clicked the top save and the game works fine. I cleared entry passage in no time. I was expecting Spore Rotten's change into pistachio scratching through. Huh. I played for a few hours each day for the next few days. Before I knew it, I had all the CDs, jewel pieces, and I was about to face the Golden Diva. She was as creepy as I always remembered her. The Elizabethan mask, and when she ran out of different masks to face underneath it made, and still makes my skin crawl. Anyway, I cleared her pretty easily. I mastered all the buttons combinations so I can bring her health down quickly. I cleared the game and got the perfect ending. Finally, my childhood was relived. I pack it one day to go to school to give back, but I forgot my friend allowed me to keep it. I left it on my desk for when I got home. When I got home, I longed for more Wario Land. It's the sort of game where you beat it once and you want to do it again. I was ready to reload my clear save and fight some bosses, but I misclicked. Pressing the A buttons when the game loaded was something of a ritual, but my finger was hovering over the down button on the D-pad, so I must have pressed it accidentally on the save screen. Before I realized, I pressed A, and then something weird happened. The game actually loaded corrupted. So it wasn't corrupt save, it was the actual level name. I never heard of it before. It definitely wasn't part of the game. I was in a passage as the smaller version of Wario who navigates around the pyramid. The wall color was very dark, the color of the floor in the central pyramid. What? Gray levels were grayed out, as well as the boss room. The minigame room wasn't there. The level I was hovering over was called Corrupted. The level picture was plain white. I tried to go back into the central pyramid to find out where I was, but Wario wouldn't go back. I tried pressing B multiple times. I even tried left on the D-pad, but he won't leave. Had no choice but to press A and load the level. Wario jumped into the frog statue to open the vortex. The frog statue chimed once, but Wario remained silent. Driving through the vortex, Wario made no sound, not even that scream he does. Upon arriving to the level, everything's black except the foreground. Wario was in some sort of big hallway like the one that builds up to a boss battle. The background was jet black. What he was standing on was lighter black. All you could see was Wario. When he entered the level fully, he said his trademark "Hurry up!" and a timer appeared. No music played. The level was silent. The timer had blank, which was weird. It was something of a puzzle to work out where to go, but I knew it was a hallway as soon as I just decided to go right, and I could continue in that direction. It was very odd, maybe even through to put my friend off the game, but it got worse as I continued. There was a flash of light, once, twice, a third time. A light was flickered on and off. It would remain on for about 3/4 of a second before turning off for a full second. The background was very weird. It was Cractus, not a moving live Cractus, but it was some kind of constant art. It was Cractus with that angry expression he has when you jump on his head. His saliva was not white, but red. Blood? Well, he had some sort of sign of whatever it was smeared around his face. It was mostly around his teeth and lips. He must have eaten something. Well, I sped to the end of the hallway. It was just a wall, and it was because I bashed into it. What happened next was strange. Wario was just left the level, much like where you reached the beginning vortex after planting the bomb in the level. There wasn't even a vortex. He just left. He screamed like he does normally upon his return. Keezer wasn't following through. After returning, Wario didn't do anything. He didn't have any sort of reaction. His face was just emotionless, blank. The door ahead of him opened, even though Keezer wasn't there. The lock fell off as when Keezer opens it. Wario still didn't react. I was taken back to the passage, and the next level eliminated. The level picture was still white, but the level name was different. It had Corrupt Id as the title. I got a bit more nervous, seeing as what happened last time was Cractus in the background. I thought the only thing that could change this time was the actual boss. I was right. It was the same hallway before. The same flicker of lights, but Cuckoo Condor was there, and this clock shell, and the claw just let go of a body, which is lying on the floor dead. The body had no head. It was just a carcass. Blood spilled all over the floor, and the blood was smeared around Condor's claw. Blood and gore never disturbed me. It was certainly interesting, and I'm certain it wasn't enough to put my friend off the game. I reached the end and was taken back, and this happened twice more for the final 2 levels. The next one I found pretty funny. Aerodit. The teddy bear balloon had sat on the person. Blood was all around its ass. They had that smiley expression it always has. The same happened again when I exited the level. The final one was Catbat. And this one I found quite weird. Catbat had blood on its claws, and there was blood around the mouth of the bat on its head. The body on the floor this time through. I could see it. It had a yellow shirt with purple overalls. Wario? I was a little confused when I reached the end of the level. Enough was enough for one day. And I went to see what the save game title was for the boss. Next day, I started up Wario Land 4 and pressed A, and the save game menu appeared. The second file was... Let's take a look at this boss then, I thought. I hit A, and surely enough, Wario was in the passage. I braced myself a little. I hit right on the D-pad, and Wario moved up 1 to the boss, Golden Diva. Huh? She's not supposed to be here. I pressed A, and it loaded the mini animation of Wario walking to the boss door. That regular creepy music still played through. The walls were golden, like the actual animation. The hallway was still the same, and the background music played. The item shop was even accessible. The music was a nice change from the silence on the save file. I didn't have any medals through, so I couldn't buy anything. I carried onwards for the hallway to the boss door. I braced myself. Press up. And press up. The door opened slowly before Wario and was drawn inside. Everyone's the same. The background, the Diva's disappearance, The only thing that changed and was the cat. It didn't rush in this time and try to protect me. Instead, her mass duplicated into four and floated around her like they normally do. I thought to myself, I'll play along, so I debuted the Golden Diva. After about 3 tries, Wario looked happy. The pose he does when he defeats a boss appeared, but then the screen cut to black. He stayed like that for about 10 seconds, and which was tempted to turn off the GBA, because I thought it was the end. And just played out a little differently, but the screen limited it. It was the scene in the desert, like in the main menu, when Wario's driving in his car, except it must have been the post-game scene. Wario's car wasn't there, and there was no music. It was just silent. About 2 seconds later, the screen began scrolling to the right, in the direction Wario drives in the post-game scene, but it was going much slower. Wario's purple car came into shot, and scroll further up, revealing a bloody Wario laying on the steering car, dead. The car had been totally wrecked as the front smashed to the rock. The game cut to black, and it remained that way for several minutes. And so nothing would happen. So I just shut off the GBA. I restarted it, and it got to the menu. Corrupted had been deleted. The save file just had a new game as its text, so I click A anyway, and the game reset to normal. It was certainly weird. Well, I don't even know what it was. An error? A hack? But it stopped me playing Wario 4 for a while. So that was Wario 4 Creepypasta by Aeronaut. And my final thoughts? It was a pretty good creepypasta to end this creepypasta 5 something. Let me see. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah, I think like the 4 weeks of creepypasta. Just 4 creepypastas per week, which is crazy. So yeah, pretty good story, and I think it's kind of I think I just really like this story. So yeah, enough talk, but I'll be have a pretty good night, guys, and see you for more. Bye bye.